The value of meditation is widely recognized. In various forms, it is used in all the world's wisdom traditions. Still, if we have tried meditation or heard about the principles it is based on, we may have found ourselves asking about why regular meditation is necessary or even desirable. Apparently, meditation takes practice and effort, but the aim is said to be a happy state of effortlessness. And meditation means restraining the movements of the mind, while the goal is complete inner freedom. So we might wonder how the means can be so different to the ends. And in the case of meditation based on non-duality and similar ideas, another question comes up. Non-duality teaches that our true nature is above the limitations of the mind and is at one with the reality in all and free of imperfections. The meditations affirm that this is the truth of our deeper nature right now. As we reflect on this, we may ask, if the self is free and infinite now, why is it necessary to do meditation or any other practices? Are we not contradicting the view that our true nature is ever perfect by saying that there is something we have to do? Are we making a gap between our true self and what we feel ourselves to be now, where we have just said that there is no gap? Let us consider these questions. As regards effort, let's remind ourselves that in life we have been led through many efforts on the way to effortlessness. At one stage, most babies can move around effectively, crawling on all fours. But something compels them to struggle up onto their two unsteady legs. This causes many bumps and delays, but eventually most learn to walk with effortless ease. Learning to speak, to write, to type, to drive, we've passed through similar experiences. If we have learned an art, or sport, or science, or craft, we know how much effort is required to achieve effortlessness. And so it is by voluntarily restraining ourselves that we gain new freedom. The ability to think clearly, to listen deeply, to love unselfishly. These are life-enhancing arts, and to develop them, we must withhold our immediate reactions while our sensitivity and awareness heighten. All these cases involve a contraction followed by expansion. And so it's no surprise that the same principle applies in meditation. By temporarily focusing our attention one-pointedly on an idea that points to our true nature in meditation, we can find a way through the net of thoughts and moods to the boundless reality and the fulfillment of self-discovery. Let us turn to the question of whether it is a contradiction of the non-dual teachings to say that something has to be done in order to realize what is already true. It's true that our innermost self is not other than the reality underlying the universe. But if this is not our experience, then somehow we have lost touch with our real nature and become convinced that our self is the body and mind. This not being awake to our true nature is the root cause of our failure to find lasting happiness in life. But there is a solution. It is a right understanding of what is most essential to us, our consciousness. It is to know the distinction between consciousness, which is ourself, and everything we are conscious of, which is not self. The mind, with all its contents, is experienced, so it is not ourself. In truth, consciousness and the mind are as different as light and darkness. Consciousness is self-luminous. It needs no other light to reveal it. The mind, by contrast, has no light of its own. Without the light of consciousness to reveal the mind, there would be no experience. And consciousness, like light, is one and the same in all beings. This is the ultimate self of all. Separations and limitations appear in the mind, in the not self. Why do we usually fail to distinguish between self and not self, if the difference is so clear and important? It is because of the fact that consciousness reveals experience but never appears as something in experience. So consciousness lights up our mind, but instead of knowing I am the conscious self, our experience is I am the mind. This is why meditation is needed. To understand in theory that the true self is beyond the mind and perfect is not enough, so long as consciousness still shines on the mind and we still feel the mind is all that I experience, the mind is what I am. To withdraw the sense of I am from the mind and to identify with the light of self requires active, sustained application. This is meditation and the related practices. There might be something in us which would like to believe that the goal of illumination is attainable without further effort. But this is the mind speaking, not wisdom. The seeming fusion of consciousness and phenomena is at the heart of the human condition. To know the true nature of consciousness as the universal self-luminous reality and self of all is life's greatest and most rewarding purpose. The path begins with learning to still and focus the mind. This is the key to relaxation, concentration, and resourcefulness. By these means, we learn how to distinguish the activities of the mind from the light of consciousness that illumines them. This opens the way to an expansion of consciousness and well-being beyond the range of words and thoughts.